We all know the story of 1947. The partition of the Indian subcontinent redrew the map of South Asia, creating new countries, but also, well, a legacy of conflict that's still felt today. So for this explainer, we're going to dive into a pretty big thought experiment. What if history had gone down a completely different road?
What if that historic, painful split just never happened? Let's really imagine that for a second. A unified subcontinent, right now, in the year 2025. What would a single nation of that size even look like? How would it work? And what kind of power would it be on the world stage?
Okay, first, you've got to grasp the sheer scale we're talking about here. This isn't just a big country, it's a vast landmass, stretching all the way from the borders of Afghanistan and Iran to the Bay of Bengal, a single political entity holding all of what we now know as India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So where do you even start with a concept this massive? Well, let's start with the people. How could a society with this much diversity possibly coexist and build one shared identity, especially without the trauma of partition? You see, without those deep, deep wounds from 1947, the social fabric could have been totally different. Instead of nationalism being defined so heavily by religion, it could have been built on a shared history going back centuries. Those chaotic, heartbreaking migrations we saw, they likely would have been replaced by slower, more organic movements of people looking for new opportunities. All of this would have created a much broader, more layered, and way more inclusive Indian identity. And can you just imagine the cultural explosion? The amazing poetry of Lahore, the incredible literary scene in Dhaka? They wouldn't be seen as foreign. They'd be essential parts of one single vibrant culture. Think about filmmakers from Mumbai working with actors from Karachi, no problem, creating a movie industry that pulled from the best talent across the entire subcontinent. And here's a great way to picture it. Think about cricket. A single team with the best players from Karachi, Dhaka, Delhi, and Mumbai all wearing the same jersey. I mean, not only would that team be basically unbeatable, it would be this powerful living symbol of that unity for the whole world to see. Now, this kind of social unity does more than just feel good. It lays the groundwork for an absolute economic powerhouse. A united subcontinent wouldn't just be a cool place to live, it would be an undisputed economic giant. The scale here is, well, it's hard to wrap your head around. By 2025, this one nation would have over 1.8 billion people. That's not just a statistic. That is the single largest workforce and the biggest consumer market on the entire planet, even bigger than China's. The economic energy from that alone is just immense. And all those people translate directly into economic might. If you combine the projections, a unified GDP would soar past $7 trillion. Let's be really clear about what that means. That number takes it from being a regional player to a top-tier global economic superpower, completely reshaping how trade and finance work around the world. And to put that 7 trillion number into perspective, just look at this. An economy that size would put this unified nation right in the top league, seriously rivaling the economic output of giants like the United States and China. It would be a non-negotiable pillar of the global economy. But you know, the real secret sauce to its strength wouldn't just be size, it would be synergy. Imagine the agricultural powerhouse of Punjab feeding the cities, while the massive port of Karachi is the gateway for everything made in Dhaka's textile factories and India's tech hubs. It would be a perfectly balanced, incredibly resilient economic machine, where every region's strength supports the others. All right, so when you're an economy that big, it naturally changes the political map of the world. So what would the geopolitical presence of this nation actually look like? Think for a second about all the resources, the money, the brainpower, the energy that are currently drained by regional rivalries and decades-long military standoffs. In this unified reality, all of that gets redirected. We're talking about a massive, focused investment in huge goals, like a unified space program, next-generation technology, and a culture of innovation that could genuinely lead the world. And with the world's biggest population, a top-tier economy, and just immense regional stability and influence, a claim for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, it wouldn't even be a debate. It would just be an undeniable geopolitical fact. Okay, so let's bring it back home. What would this unified nation actually look like on the inside? How would it connect this vast landscape and develop its people? This nation would be built on a single integrated grid. Just picture it, a high-speed rail network running seamlessly from the Afghan border all the way to the port of Chittagong, connecting people and goods like never before.
Energy pipelines from Central Asia could flow without interruption, powering the entire nation. And this would create more balanced growth, so cities like Karachi, Dhaka, and Lahore would boom as major economic engines in their own right.
And this right here is where you see the real human impact. The billions upon billions of dollars saved from those military rivalries could be poured back into what really matters. Instead of funding conflict, that money could build world-class highways, universities, and hospitals, dramatically improving life for all 1.8 billion people.
So, when you step back and look at this whole picture, you realize this thought experiment isn't just some alternate history game. It's a pretty profound look at the staggering cost of lost potential.
Because the real cost of partition wasn't just about the new lines drawn on a map. It was the incalculable cost of everything that could have been, the economic synergies, the shared culture, and the collective global strength that was sacrificed.
And so, we're left with this question. Look, we can't change the past, but we can definitely reflect on it. What could have been the reality of a subcontinent defined not by division, but by unity and a shared incredible strength? It's a powerful thing to think about.